Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday Mashup, where you never know what you might learn or hear.
We will keep these podcasts super short, informative, and fun. Well, we will do our best anyway.
So, are you ready?
Yes, so let's do it. Meg and I want to express our gratitude to all of you out there that are working to help us through this battle against COVID-19, many of who are working at great risk to their own health. You are truly our heroes. We can all make a difference by doing our best to keep the virus from spreading. And as Ellen always says, be kind to one another. On the podcast we just released on March 22nd, our guest was Dr. Gleb Tsipursky, who is widely known as the Disaster Avoidance Expert. When we interviewed Dr. Tsipursky, it was before the coronavirus had taken hold, so we did not get a chance to discuss it. Because Dr. Tsipursky is an expert on helping businesses avoid disaster, we asked him to join us back on the podcast for a brief interview to ask what businesses should be doing in the wake of the coronavirus. So hello, Dr. Gleb Tsipursky. Thank you for coming back on our podcast.
Thank you for having me back on, Bobby. It's a pleasure to be on again.
Thanks for taking this time. I know you're incredibly busy, and especially now, but we thought our listeners could really benefit from having you on for just a quick 5-minute question. So basically, what advice can you give businesses during this time of uncertainty?
I'll give the advice both to businesses and to professionals, ordinary professionals, whether they're in college, business organizations, and so on. Right now, what I'm seeing a lot, the biggest problem is that everyone is operating in emergency mode. We're in emergency mode, we're business continuity plans, switching to working at home, everything like that. And people are thinking that they're in emergency mode. That's their mentality. They're going all out. They're really trying to figure out how they'll manage the next couple of weeks while everything blows over.
Right.
Well, that's not realistic. That's completely unrealistic. Because if you look at the situation, right now people are imagining it's like Houston that was flooded, and the flood will go away in 2 weeks and everything will be fine. Not the case. Imagine Houston being flooded and then staying flooded for the next 3 years,
Right.
for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
That's a situation that we're in. So you have to understand that right now we very clearly see that the virus is not going to go away next week's. It's not going to go away by the summer, whatever political leaders might be telling you, at whatever level. Clearly, health experts at all levels are saying that it will not go away until we find a vaccine.
Right.
Now, we will not find a vaccine that will be available until the end of 2021, and then it will only be available to people like Jeff Bezos. So for mass production, it'll take another year or so. So it will be available mass production within next 3 years. But the first vaccine might be as weak as the flu vaccine, which is only 50% effective. So it reduces fatality rate by 50%. Right. That's not good either.
Right, yeah.
It might take us a few years, until 5 years, to find a new, actually effective vaccine, even longer. So you have to be prepared for, the optimistic scenario is very optimistic, 3 years, more realistically 5 years, to be dealing with the epidemic. And there'll be waves of restrictions and so on. You are not going to be in a different situation. You need to take this as the new normal. We are right now in a completely new normal, different from what the past was, and you need to adapt to this new situation. You need to think about your career. What will your career be like in this current environment? If the environment lasts for the next 5 years, what do you want to be doing? Do you want to be doing what you're currently doing? Especially in some careers that require face-to-face interactions, it might not be the best thing to do. So think about that the next 5 years from now, how you want to be in the next 5 years. For a business or any other organization, you will need to change your business model in some serious ways. It's okay for employees to be working from home for a couple of weeks, form an organizational standpoint for how you currently organize your internal structure. Not going to work if it's 5 years from now.
No, of course not.
Yeah, you need to change your reporting model, you need to change your communications model, your organization model, your decision-making model, everything internally. Those are things you need to change, your business model internally. And of course, most organizations will have to change their external business model, especially colleges. Unless you're already in all online college, you will need to change your business model very thoroughly to actually adapt to this new environment and so to survive and thrive. That's what you need to be doing. Think about how in 5 years, if you're going to be coping with the situation for the next 5 years, what do you want to be? What kind of business model do you want to offer? How will you offer your services to clients, to customers, and so on? So those are things you want to be thinking about. You want to change, make sure to think about the situation that your competitors were likely not listening to this podcast. So unfortunately for them, they will not get the benefit of this advice, and then they will be hobbled. Maybe some will go bankrupt. So you need to be able and ready to take their market share take their clients when they go bankrupt, when they're hobbled. Think about that as well. So make a new strategic plan, treating the situation as a new normal. This is what you need to be doing right now. Treating the situation as a new normal, making a new strategic plan for the long term, with keeping this in mind that it'll be probably the next 5 years or so.
Well, that's excellent advice. And it's a little scary to think that is 5 years. And like you said, no matter what we're being told. And also, it's getting through this crisis is one thing, but then again, the new normal is going to be a lesson learned from this crisis. So people are going to be changing their habits and attitudes even when we are past this, even when we do have the vaccine, because it's going to be in their minds that this could happen again with a new virus coming through or whatever. So it's almost like buildings that were built for earthquakes. It's like being prepared, right? Yeah. It's like being prepared for the next one, right? And it's going to be a new normal.
Yeah.
Well, Gleb, I think that's great advice. We're keeping this short, as I promised. So we will put that out, and I hope people listen.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for taking the time to come back on. Have a great day.
Thank you.
And this has been an Academic and Career Advising Services production.